In this video, I would like to discuss 5 questions that sellers ask me, a realtor with a lot of years of experience, when I come out to talk to them about their property. So that's one thing that I know is if you are considering selling your property in the future, generally there are 5 questions that you may ask. So it could be, why should I hire you? What have you done? What's going on in the market? How are you going to market my property? What's my property worth? And what are you going to charge me? Before we get started, I want you to be sure to take a look down below. I have broken this video up into some chapters that may help you if you just need to zoom to one that you have a lot of interest in, so you make it easier for you. And then if you do learn anything in this video, please make sure that you like us and that you subscribe and share this with other people that may be thinking of selling their properties as well. So we'd like to get the word out and continue to grow our channel. So, okay, 5 questions that sellers ask. And you may ask, why do I need to listen to you? Who are you? My name is Leanne Carswell. I am the broker-owner of the Expert Real Estate Team. I have been a realtor for 28 years. So I started back before the internet. Well, when the internet was a baby, there was no social media, and we used to have MLS books, paper books. So I've been around for a while. During that time, those 5 questions that I mentioned before, why should I listen to you? Why should I hire you? Why you? What's going on in the market? Number 2, how will my property be marketed? What's my property worth? And what do you charge? So all great questions that sellers ask these days. So let's start with number 1. Why should I hire you? Well, number 1 is going to be you have a connection with that person. The experience that a particular realtor has is going to mean a lot. How many homes do they sell? Average. So all those are wonderful questions. Basically, you want to know if you're going to go in to see a brain surgeon, for instance. You want to know that it's not their first brain surgery. You don't want to be their guinea pig. So there are a lot of new realtors in this business and a lot of very good realtors in this business. So you need to discern for yourself if you feel like they're going to give you the best marketing, the best guidance, and have the experience to get you under contract and to the closing table, because sometimes things don't close. So, and a realtor that's experienced things that don't close kind of knows what to look out for, and help give you that type of guidance that one would expect when you're paying somebody a large amount of money. So that's the first thing. Question number 2 that sellers ask when I go out to meet with them is, what's going on in the market? This is one crazy market that we've been having. So a couple things you want to take a look at are buyer's market, seller's market, normal market, how much inventory is out there, the days on market, how long are things taking to sell, because that's going to help you decide where to price your property. What things are selling for, what type of pricing strategy will you need to have. So all this factors into your goals. So let's take a look at those slides. I wanted to go over the what I mean when I talk about the month's supply of inventory and its impact on the market. If I tell you it's a seller's market, that means we have 1 to 5 months worth of inventory and the market's appreciating. Sellers can be a little bit more full of themselves and a little bit more demanding in a seller's market. When there is a balanced market, it's even, give and take. It's a 5 to 6 months inventory. And over 6 months of inventory is a buyer's market, and that's when things are depreciating. So what does that look like on the ground? Let's look at, this is the most recent September of 2023. The last rolling 12 months inventory for both Greenville and Spartanburg MLS. It breaks it down by price range. So you can see in the 100 to 125,000, there's 1 month of inventory, which if you look back at the other slide, it means it's a seller's market in that price point. If we go down to 4 to 450, there's 3 months of inventory, still a seller's market. In the Greenville MLS, until we get to 650, are we in more of a normal market? All the way up to $1 million, so 650 to $1 million in the Greenville MLS, it's a normal market at that price point. Once you get over $1 million in the Greenville MLS, does it turn into a buyer's market? In Spartanburg, let's look at that. So at about 450, it turns 450 to 5, it turns into a normal market, a balanced market. It's weird. Then it drops back down to a normal market, and then over $1 million, just like Greenville, you are back into a buyer's market. So every month this changes slightly. You can see that you've got the current active listings, the last 12 months of sold listings. Divide that out, and that tells you how many solds per month you have, and that gives you the number of months of inventory that you have. So also on our slide anyway, we've got the average days on market for each price point that there is. So these are important numbers for sellers to realize, just to know how much of something that there is, so you can gauge how much supply there is and how much demand there is. Third questions that sellers ask is, what kind of marketing do you have planned for my property? So several things that a realtor can do, obviously, is put it in the MLS. I'm a member of 4 different MLSs because we're kind of country out rural. I want to make sure that my sellers have the most exposure as possible. But if you're working with a realtor who just kind of drills into a certain downtown area, they might just do one particular MLS. So another thing they can do, obviously, is print advertising. All the digital advertising realtors can do. Obviously all the social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok. I mean, it's unreal. All the things that we as realtors need to know that have come into our industry in the last 15 years. So other things that realtors can do to help get property sold or have email lists of property alerts to people. Their contact management system will help get the word out to the public and to folks that they've had interactions with. So obviously things filter into Realtor.com and Zillow. Zillow is huge right now. People love Zillow, even though Zillow is not always terribly accurate. And don't get me started on their valuations, because Realtor.com and Zillow, they've never been in your home. So it's going to be very hard for them to give you a number. Again, they just use algorithms. And I guess this dawned on me maybe 20 years ago when a guy walked in my office and he had his piece of paper and he said, Zillow said my house is worth $500,000. And I said, really? Long story short, he had an old farmhouse that had not been updated since the turn of the century, literally. It had been added on to several times, and it was moldy and had never been updated. However, around it, lots of new construction. So that's how the algorithm came up with his value. So he ended up selling it $80,000. So it was a wake up call for him and me both. But that's kind of how algorithms work. So as far as marketing the property, a lot of times it's word of mouth. Getting the word out, just door knocking sometimes. There is no right or wrong way to market a property in this market. Number 4, what is my property worth? That's always a huge question that sellers have. First thing that I do is look up properties that have sold that are most similar to what you have, because that's what an appraiser is going to do. Second thing that I do is look and see what competition that you've got. Kind of your size and bigger. I call it my bigger, newer, nicer, cheaper list. So you need to know what kind of battle you're going up against. So if there's a ton of inventory out there, it's going to mean that you are in that buyer's market and you might need to be a little more aggressive. If there's not much inventory, you can sit back and let the market work for you in a seller's market. So it's all going to depend on what your goals are. So let's take a look at some pricing strategies. When it comes to pricing your property, things that you need to consider are how fast or how slow you want to be done. Most people want to put it on the market at fair market value, which is that middle of the triangle, the perceived value, where you get 60 to 75% of the eyeballs on you. Then you've got folks who say, you know what, I don't care if it sells. As long as I get my price, I'm willing to wait as long as it takes. That's more of an aspirational pricing. Then you've got folks who say, you know what, I've got to be somewhere in 30 days. I got to be somewhere fast. I don't have time to deal with this. I just want it off my plate. And that's when you do a little bit more of event pricing. So you're getting a lot of eyeballs on you there. And a lot of times, most times, you're getting multiple offers. So currently, personally, I do have some property priced aspirationally. If I get my price, I will sell it. If I don't, that's okay, because it's not eating anything. It's land. And when I get my price, it'll sell. Most recently, I've sold a property with event type pricing. We listed it for $150. I let the buyers have a 1 week look period. We had 100 showings. We had 26 offers, and I sold it for $60,000. We ended up selling for $210. So that was more event pricing. So when it comes to what your pricing strategy is, those are some things that you want to know before you go in, because it truly is a strategy. We're getting down to the end. We're at number 5. What do you charge? So currently there are 3 pricing strategies in real estate. You've got the flat fee model, where they charge you a flat fee. It's pretty self-explanatory. You have some discount models where they charge you, less than what the average going rate is. There is no standard rate. The third thing is a full service realtor. So in the first 2, you may do some of the work yourselves. So you may, in a flat fee, they may put the listing in the MLS, and then it's up to you, the homeowner, to do all the showing, all the negotiating with the other realtors, all the inspections and appraisal negotiations. You'd have to do all of that yourselves. The discount brokers, sometimes you get what you pay for, and I'll leave it at that. Then you've got full service realtors. They're the ones who do this at full time as a job, who have made a career of selling real estate. That's what my company does, is a full service realtor. Typically, we split the commission between the buyer's agent and the seller's agent. I see my job as getting my sellers the exposure. I see their job as keeping it clean, pricing it right. As much as I wish I could, I wish I could knock people on the head and drag them through the door, but it doesn't work that way. If it did, I'd have been doing it a long time ago. So when you have a full service realtor, they're doing all the marketing, doing all the photos, all the showings, all the negotiating. A lot of times they have transaction coordinators. My team's got a transaction coordinator, which is a whole separate person that helps take care of you. So a couple different models that you can choose from when it comes time to market your property. We're about done here. One thing I did want to give you is a bonus question, bonus clip. I have a lot of sellers ask me if they can sell their property as is. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to do any work, and I get that. Buyers don't want to do any work either. So the way the South Carolina contracts are written, and North Carolina too, but basically it gives the buyer a choice or a chance to look at the property, check it out. They can ask for repairs, but nothing in the contract says you have to do anything. So I caution a lot of times my sellers from saying in the remarks, property sold as is, because buyers tend to think, something's wrong with that property. Let them ask. I mean, if you can give them a couple $100 to do the repair the way they want it done, and they're happy and you're happy. A lot of times we handle the negotiations that way. Sometimes buyers walk away. That is what it is. I mean, and in the South Carolina contract, there's a thing called a termination fee. And we all get into that, when I meet with my sellers. But it's all a negotiable type thing. So hope that's helpful. If you would like to set an appointment with me or someone at the Expert Real Estate team, click on the Calendly link below, and we would love to help you selling your property. Thanks so much for listening.